Peak earning years are a gift, but they're also a season with unusual leverage. For many of the families we work with, there's a season where income is higher than it's ever been before. Careers are established, businesses are producing, and opportunities often feel wide open. Well, one of the most common mistakes I see is that assuming this level of income is permanent and designing your life as if it will always be that way. Peak earnings are usually temporary, even when success continues. The question isn't how to stretch the season, it's really how to steward it wisely. So the first thing I encourage people to do is focus on building optionality, not just your lifestyle. Peak income makes it tempting to lock in the higher fixed expenses, bigger homes, bigger commitments, more complexity, more stuff. But the real power of the season is the flexibility, creating some margin so future decisions are choices, not constraints. This optionality can give you freedom later, freedom to slow down, freedom to pivot, to give more generously, or to say no when something no longer fits. The second focus is using peak income to reduce the future friction. This is the ideal time to simplify your financial structures, pay down or eliminate debt that no longer serves a clear business or planning purpose, coordinate your tax planning across multiple years, and fund your long-term goals with intentionality, and maybe even with a lot of fervor. When peak earnings are treated as a planning resource rather than a permanent norm, they can dramatically lower stress in later seasons. The third and most often overlooked focus is planning for impact while you still have leverage. Many people assume impact is something that you get to have later on in life, but these peak earning years are often when you have the greatest ability to shape outcomes, not just financially, but relationally and generationally. This might mean beginning intentional generosity, involving your family in giving decisions, funding opportunities instead of just expenses, or aligning your resources with what matters most before life gets much more complicated. At its core, planning for impact isn't about how much you give, it's about deciding on purpose. One question I often leave people with is this: if this season of income only lasted a few more years, would you be glad with what you chose to do? The peak earning years don't last forever, but the intentionality of the impact they can create often do. At Covenant Wealth Management, we approach planning through the lens of financial independence, helping families steward what they built so work becomes optional and decisions stay intentional over time.